Hi, friends. Why are artists and spiritual people crazy? Why are they not fitting in the box? That's why people like to discuss about artists, celebrity artists, because they see that this person is someone who is a bit crazy, doing crazy things and always, doing things like uh, leaving their partners, changing lovers, buying something crazy. So, that kind of thing is always seen with artists. And also with spiritual people, they are very interested. What are they doing? Because historically, spiritual people and artists were not part of the mainstream society. They had something of their own, going on, and they were kind of outcasts or misfits. That's why the term outcast is used, because they did not fit in this structure of family, career, and all that. So that's why, be it an artist, be it an astrologer, healer, spiritual person, they don't fit. That's why for spiritual people, there was something called sannyas, right? For spiritual people, there was something called renunciation. For artists, there were separate artist communes or tribes, like artist caravans, collectives. That's why till date people use the term artist collective and those kind of things, because artists have their own world, and they don't follow much of social rules. In Indian uh, in an Indian Hindu tradition, we also say Gandharva Viva, Gandharvas. So Gandharvas are the artists, they are the musicians of the gods. So they do not follow the social rules of marriage, they do not follow the social rules of career and stuff like that. But now, in today's day and age of capitalism, everyone is being pulled into this social structure, the mainstream social structure. So they also feel they need to earn money, and they will do unethical things. Like, I'm into astrology, so astrologers will feel they need to earn money, buy BMW cars and stuff like that. So they will do unethical things. Many of them, not everyone, but many of them will do unethical things, try to chase politicians, try to chase high profile clients. Why? Because they want to compete with others, and they think their particular profession is going to be uh, sort of, give them the same fame, same money, same returns which other people in conventional society get, right? So this whole thing about fitting into society, for artists, for healers, for astrologers, anyone doing occult work, anyone doing artistic stuff, they do not really fit into this. When I say artists, it can be actors, it can be musicians, but the pressure is too much. So they will do all kinds of weird things to fit into this capitalistic structure. Look at the Indian film industry. You will see the manipulators, the bullies, the influential ones are on top, and they are trying to get success through some formula. Right? It's the same thing in Hollywood. It's not the talented people who are getting major, huge success, isn't it? So, yeah, and that success actually is not a parameter for an artist, because an artist is exploring. In astrology, we call it Uranus, Rahu. These kind of things describe artists. Ketu, Neptune. So these are all like outlier kind of planets. These are not considered to be good boy planets. And many astrologers who don't look at Uranus, Neptune, Rahu, Ketu, they miss a lot of things. In Western astrology, they don't give too much importance to North Node and South Node, Rahu, Ketu. Some of them do. But then in I've met a lot of Western astrology practitioners who know nothing about Rahu and Ketu, North Node, South Node. And also Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, a lot of Indian astrologers, they ignore it. But actually, people like Sunil John, and even I've spoken to James Braha, and there are a few others who are very much into using into uh, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, the generational planets. Lot of astrologers in Maharashtra. I remember a friend of mine who went in the 80s to an astrologer, and they were talking about Harshal, which I think is Uranus or Neptune. Harshal and Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. They were talking about it. So it's very important that Uranus and Neptune, these are the Uranus, Neptune, Pluto makes the person quite unconventional, can go into art, can go into occult. So when these things are seen, we cannot give them conventional formulae for success. That is very important, isn't it? So think about this, and when you approach an astrologer, when you approach a healer, when you approach an artist, don't expect them to behave the way you behave, because their whole lifestyle, their whole Jivan Shaili, their whole thing is completely different, completely might appear erratic to you, and they are not meant to fit in this structure, in this capitalistic structure, which is only about money and racing and running and stuff like that. Then we also talk about Osho. Osho also, he was very much, in the idea, with the idea of communes, because Osho would say that we can bridge the material and the spiritual, but he also prescribed ways, and I think he struggled to some extent to make that happen, this bringing together of material and spiritual. But definitely, he brought this element of celebration to spirituality, which was not there in Indian spirituality. Celebration, joy, laughter, and people would not give discourses with jokes and things like that. That was brought in by Osho. So, the earlier mystics and gurus were very serious. They were very straight-jacketed. So, yeah, the credit goes to Osho, be it Sadhguru, be it Sri Sri, all these people are now doing it, but Osho had started something like that. Yeah. So, Osho's methods are beautiful in the sense that they encompass the psychological aspect, they encompass celebration, things like that. So, I think let's think over this. Let me know what you feel like. Okay, cheers.